You know, folks, I simply love to fish creeks. Creeks of all sizes. And one of my favorite baits to fish in a creek, well, is a hellgrammite. And folks, about a year ago, I come up with a great way to rig an artificial hellgrammite that is simply deadly when it comes to fishing creeks. I'm going to show y'all how to do this, or explain to y'all how to do this. An easy way. Now, Nico baits are different than any on the market. This is actually rubber. That's all it is. It's rubber. And it's even more rubbery than elastic. That Z-Man uses, the material that Z-Man uses. This is rubber. You can take this and you can stretch it a country mile without it breaking. All you need is some tungsten weights right here. These are tungsten spikes, is what Z-Man calls their product right here, or you can get nail weights. There's a lot of companies that make it, but this is the 1/32 of an ounce version, which is not heavy enough. I like to use a 1/16 in the creeks around here. Now these are just a pack of needles. That's all it is. This needle right here that you see that's burnt is the one that I use. Okay. What I did, and this works well, is I took a pair of needle nose pliers and grabbed it right here. Heated the end of this needle up, which this is the thread part right here. Y'all can see. That's the sharp end. This is the size that I need. A 4 nail weight. Okay, it's perfect. It's not too tight and it's not too loose. So you'll have to mess around with these needles till you'll find out what I mean by that. But anyhow, I'm a particular fisherman. I am. But I'll heat it up, and right here's the head of the hellgrammite. Right there is a little offset that sticks up on the first segment. And right in the center is where I'll heat it. After I heat it up, it's red hot, I'll stick it in there and make a track. I'll stick it in there about a 1/2 inch or so, and then take this weight and then stick it in the hole and then push it on in there where it's in there, you know, like 1/8 of an inch in behind there. So I have room to take a little bit of Loctite glue and stick in that hole and put a little dab into it to keep that weight from ever wanting to come out. But it probably wouldn't. But I do that because I'm particular. Now that right there is how I've been catching a lot of fish here lately. Now you can tie direct, and I have before, but really the best knot, in my opinion, to use is a loop knot. That's a loop knot tied onto that hook right there. That gives it a natural action. Because what I'm talking about is I always throw up the current and let the bait drift down, hitting those rocks in a natural way, just like a hellgrammite would. Now what I'm using right here is a 6-foot all-star rod right here. This is a light action rod, fast tip, light action, rated for 4 to 6 pound test line. I believe that's what it says. But I've got 4 to 8, so I'm pretty well correct. It's 6 foot long. The rod is light as a feather. You can't even feel it in your hand. I'm using a 1,000 size Daiwa reel loaded with 8 pound test braid. Okay, and then I have a connection right there. That's a double uni knot with 8 pound test red Cajun mono for the leader, and I have about 7 feet of it on there. Now this is a size 1 Gamakatsu wide gap hook with a 3-inch Nico hellgrammite. Mudbug is the color. On Nico products, especially this hellgrammite, when I Texas rig it, okay, I leave the hook exposed. See that? I don't Texpose it. There's no need to. This material is so dense, it's a rubber type material. it will hold this hook right here. The hook good enough. So I'm fishing. It don't take much of a hook set, so that's why I can get by fishing this real light line. But rigging this bait like this, if your creek or river, either one, has a lot of rocks, this is a great way to do it. That bullet weight is what really, there goes a snake. Look at that. Banded water snake. Y'all probably can't see it. He just now hit the bank. What about that? But it'll come right over those rocks. That's what you want. Because on the other side of a rock, on the down current side, is where those fish will be held up. That's where they're at, facing the current. On the downside part of any object, rocks or whatever. It's really deep right here. I'm going to sort of make a fish this right out here in front of me. There's fish. There we go. There we go. That's a good one right here. Look here, folks. We got a good one right here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a smallmouth, too, I believe. Sure feels like it. Either that or it's a spotted bass. No, that's a smallmouth. Golly. You talking about a strong fish. He ain't that big, but remember, I'm using a light action rod, folks. An 8-pound line, a little 1,000 size reel. That's suited for what we're doing right here. Makes it a lot of fun. That's a good smallmouth. Look here. He's about done now. It takes a while to wear them out. Look, come on. You're done. You're done. Come on in here. There he is. Wow, what a beautiful fish right there. That's what we're talking about. Looky there, what a fish. Beautiful fish. I don't have nowhere really where I can show y'all. A GoPro kind of, I don't know, it don't really show how big a fish really is, but we'll turn him like this right here and see if we can see these beautiful, beautiful colors right here. My goodness, and he's healthy too. So we're just going to let him go right here. A lot of these creeks and rivers that I fish, the only way that I can get really good shots is by bringing a tripod with me. And sometimes, folks, I have to walk up these creeks 3-4 miles, long ways, and then I have to come walk back. So I'm doing a lot of walking. A lot of walking. Let's just let him go. Beautiful, beautiful smallmouth. Okay, I caught him out there. Y'all can see those dark places out there. That's just big boulders. That's all that is. Just big rocks. And I caught him. He hit right on the down current side of one of them. And I don't know which one, but one of them. See, they're going to be heading like this. This is how they're going to be facing. Into the current. But they're going to be in behind those rocks to stay out of the current. They're waiting for something like this, or a minnow, to come by them so they can just reach out there and grab it. It's just a good place. It's an ambush point, to be put simply. That's all it is just an ambush point. One of the things that I do when you're talking about fishing with a hellgrammite, what they do is they turn loose from one rock and they go to the next to get up under the rock. And so they'll move current speed. They move really quick. Now these fish are accustomed to seeing that. That's why this bait right here is so deadly. It is deadly. Confidence is a big part of fishing, folks. When you get into an area where you feel like there's some fish, Looks good to you. It feels right. You know, it's just something about it makes you stay there. Well, then look at it like, well, there's a fish here somewhere. I know they are. This is a good situation right here. Once you find areas that's gonna hold fish, and what I mean by that, areas that has a little bit of slack water. And it don't take much when you're talking about river fishing, but just a little bit of slack water can make all the difference. And once you find those places, you can catch a fish. They'll be there. Guarantee you that. This river is high. Okay. Not real high, but high enough to where the current's really, really ripping. So right here is an area here that's deflecting. It's holding back the current just enough for a few fish to be right there. That's a good area right there. One just hit it right there, but he was little. He wasn't very big at all. I'm going to make another cast up there. There's several fish there. Okay, we're going to let it just wash down that current seam. No need to put much action at all into the bait. Boy, that's a good looking place. There he is, folks. Let's see what we got. We got a little smallmouth right here. Sure do. We got a little smallmouth. He ain't too big, but boy, he's fighting. Ain't he pretty? That's a beautiful fish in this clear water. Beautiful little fish. And I've seen about 3 or 4 about the same size as him following him. Ain't that a pretty little jaw? Let's let him go right here. Yeah, there he is. Golly. My goodness, I couldn't catch up to that fish. I had a hard time catching up to him. What a rock bass. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I thought it was a smallmouth. I want y'all to look what a giant rock bass right here. My goodness. Now that's impressive right there. I couldn't never catch up to him. When I set the hook, he started just running straight to me. Golly. Y'all look at there. That ain't nothing but a big, giant rock bass now. Look at that, look at that, look at that. That's a mature one right there. I changed colors of Helgramites, which is this one right here I've used before, and I forgot the color, the name of the color. I'm excited. My goodness, what a big old rock bass. Wow, that's a giant. What excited me, folks, I could not, when I set the hook, that fish come straight to me, which is unlike a rock bass. Usually when you set the hook, you can feel them shaking their head like that. That's not what happened. For some reason, that one comes straight to me. But this is a different color, and it's got kind of a purplish hue to it, and I forget the name of it. But it looks good in the water. It looks real good in the water. It got a little red in it, which y'all know that the red is a very good color for smallmouth. Anything with a little bit of red. So I thought I'd try it. My goodness. And I want to mention this one more time. Just let the current, this 1 gram, which is equivalent to a 1/16 of an ounce, is what it is. Tungsten weight is just about perfect for this. See, it's moving at about the current speed, about as fast as the current is. That's what you want to do right there. Or slightly less. You know, I think that if I put one, not quite an eighth, not an eighth of an ounce, but in between a 1/16 and a eighth, that would probably be a good one too. But so far, this seems to be matched out about just right. That's usually what I use anyway, is a 1 gram or 1/16 of an ounce. I don't like to go much heavier than that. Now, sometimes you have to. That's the way I'm going to work it. And I'm going to take a few steps like this. Turn around. Throw up. Okay, now it's on the bottom. And I'm just going to keep up with that hellgrammite. See, I'm just letting it drift, bumping those rocks. As it's bumping those rocks going down through there, that's all the action it needs. You see, I can put impart action if I wanted to make myself feel good, but it's not going to help because it's bumping those rocks, making that lure look real, about like a hellgrammite would look. You see, y'all see what I'm talking about? The current's making this bait look real. I'm allowing that to happen. And what I'm doing is trying to cover this water as thoroughly as I possibly can. There he is. There we go. There we go. I missed him. I kept messing around there, folks. 3 casts later, we caught him. Good one. Giant. Golly. Y'all seeing this? When I stuck him, I thought it was a smallmouth. They just seem to be getting bigger. Quit. Stop it. Quit. Look at there. Golly. Some of these creeks are sleepers I'm talking about. Quit. If he'll quit, we'll let him loose. Some of them are sleepers. I mean, some of these doggone creeks has got some big doggone rock bass in them. Let's let him go. It's right there at my feet. Can y'all see him right there? There he goes. This color is working out. They're reacting to it. Golly. Let's make another cast. But I missed that fish. And I threw, and hey, look here. Look. Oh my goodness. Look. Oh, got another bite right there. Those are just little pegs, so that ain't what we're wanting. Now that is, got him. Just a solid boom. My goodness. Folks, this is a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun. Especially with this type of tackle. It makes it that, it's matching matching your tackle with the fish you're catching. These are giant rock bass. This is impressive to me. Very impressive. Quit. Oh my goodness, what a fish. Phil quit. That's a female, gotta be. Look at her. Ah, come on in here. I want y'all look, what a fish. That's a female. Look at that stomach right there. They're fixing to really, let's see if we can get the right angle right here. They're fixing to spawn. That's exactly what's going on. Golly. That is impressive, them things that big. Like that. They feel like a bass. When you first set the hook, they feel like a smallmouth. See, I'm not having to do anything. That hellgramite's looking natural just by me holding my rod up and letting the current sweep it along the bottom. That's just the fact. When I do move my rod tip, I'm doing it just to feel the rocks or to make sure I'm in contact with the bottom. It's not to work the bait, not this particular bait. Right there, you know, like right there, there's a big rock right there where we're at. So I'm going to leave it there. And that's about it. That completes the drift. So that's all I'm doing is just drifting this bait, letting this bait drift. And if I was using a crawfish, it would be the same way. Alright, folks, we're right here at a shoal. If you look right out in front of me, you know, there's a deeper hole right here. All of a sudden it gets really shallow. This is called a shoal. And right here is a fantastic place to catch fish. Sometimes they'll be in front of the shoal, but most of the time they'll be on the down current side of the shoal. And it's an excellent place to catch a fish, whether it be smallmouth or rock bass or largemouth, spotted bass, or even catfish, whatever may exist in a creek. Yeah, most artificial baits you have to work. You have to impart action, but this one you don't. And it don't matter who makes the hellgramite, what company makes it. That don't make any difference. It's just, if it looks like a hellgramite, just don't. And if you have current, don't put no action at all in the bait. The action is just like I stated, especially if there's rocks. As it's flowing through, it's hitting those rocks, causing it to look as real as it can. There he is. Yeah, good smallmouth. Yes, sir. Good smallmouth. That's what we're talking about right there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Y'all see that jump? Nothing like it. Now, this is a pretty fish. My. This one is beautiful. I want y'all to look at that fish. That made it worth it. That made it worth it. And that fish was shallower. See, you can't never tell. These things is, oh my goodness, they're so strong. In this current, they are absolutely strong, I'm talking about. Boy. If he'll quit, that's a good quality fish right there, folks, for a creek. It finally happened. See, I never give up. You can't give up. Quit. Come on. Come on. Quit. There. Golly, what a fish. That is a beautiful smallmouth. Okay, I'm going to try to show him to y'all. He's hooked real good. So I'm going to try my best to show y'all. We'll stop it. Let's see. Where can we stop it? Okay, we'll just do this right here. Yeah, it ain't going nowhere like that. See, in that way the fish will be fine. He'll be fine right there. We'll try to check him out right here. That's a good one. All right, folks. Oh my God, look at him. He's still fighting. He's still fighting. A smallmouth bass is a powerful fish, I'm going to tell you. And that's not a real big fish. I mean, as far as smallmouth goes, but for today, it's the highlights, really, of today in this creek. And what I did is I just kept fishing. Slowly, patiently, and finally that fish bit, but that fish was in shallow water. He wasn't in a deep hole. The best I can do is like that right there. Then I'll turn it like that. See if y'all can see the colors in that fish. Right there. We'll come back around. Okay. And I hope y'all seen him. Right here it's dark, a lot of trees. But that's a good bass right there. Nothing wrong with that. Let's let him go. That fish right there, that's a beautiful smallmouth right there. Like I said, that made the trip worth it, no doubt. What a blessing. What a blessing. Look at him. Well, folks, I've got probably about a half mile more to walk. So I just want to say, God bless each and every one of y'all. Now, let me say this before I close. This was a very enjoyable trip. Now, I come down here not really knowing, and it's a long ways from the house, not really knowing whether or not I was going to be able to fish or not. But when it comes to these creeks and small rivers, to me it's worth all the effort, because you can get a lot of peace out here. You can, if you need to think things over, you can do it walking these creeks out here by yourself. It's just a peaceful feeling that's hard for me to describe. The only way that you'll know is that you need to come on out here and do it for yourself. Just watch out for snakes. I want to say God bless each and every one of y'all. Hey, thank y'all for everything that y'all have done. I appreciate and love each and every one of y'all. Hey, woo. I'm talking about woo. Okay. And remember, go fishing when you can, because it's good.